morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying this beautiful Thursday morning. On this platform, we're dedicated to amplifying the vibrant voices of the youth towards matters that concerns us all. And you know that if it's of great importance, we're definitely talking about it. Today's segment will open up social cultural issues plaguing us today. And trust me, this one is quite interesting and controversial. It's my absolute pleasure to anchor today's segment. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and of course, I have my amazing co-anchors here with me, God's Beauty Israel and Okikiola Taiwo Jalopon. Good morning, guys.
Blessed morning to you, Oluchi.
Hey. I thought I was the only one that said it.
It's also...
I didn't plan to have that, but you said blessed morning.
What's a blessed morning now?
She said it with such a straight blessed morning. And if you like, you don't be blessed.
It's just how we said the together.
Oh my God.
What's really happening?
Good morning.
What's with the baritone voice?
I don't know. So I've literally not been speaking since morning.
Yeah.
Right? I've been quiet, so of course, I mean, when I dare to open my mouth, it just comes up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But how are you doing, though?
I'm beautiful. How are
I've
you?
missed you on this set. I mean, Monday,
Amen.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Aw.
I didn't see you. I'm glad to
I
have
think
you
it's
back
Tuesday,
here.
Wednesday. I was here with Kiki.
But I wasn't here, so that's why I'm
that's
missing
true.
you. I mean, the whole lady vibe. I'm already tired of this one they call
Hey,
Kikiola.
wey.
Familiarity is already entering. But back to my baby girl, Kiki. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine. Hallelujah, somebody.
Praise
Amen.
God. So you're looking like an hair hostess this morning. Tell us the inspiration behind your...
If I don't give you,
How will you take it?
Come
Okay.
on.
So guys, I came across something yesterday and I felt like talking to you guys about it this morning when I was commuting to work. So I think that there's this pressure to just want to check up on people, and then there's no intentionality to actually check up on people. It's almost like you are discharging an obligation. So I'll break it down in simple terms. There's this friend of mine that had not reached out to me for a very long time, and then the person reached out to her, and the person was like, oh, how are you? How are you doing? I replied, answered, how are you doing too? Then after some quick status responses and all, he still went back to how are you doing? How are you doing? And I felt like, what kind of conversation is this? This is just almost like so robotic. It's just like, let me discharge my duty so it won't look like I didn't reach out to people. And it makes me understand that that's how some relationship gets strained.
Yeah.
Because people they're not intentional with conversing. You know, conversational skills is a very major one. How you can, ask the right questions, pry into it. Curate it in a way that looks like you are very much interested in what's happening. So the whole how you doing, I was already tired. I felt like saying, how do you really want me to be doing? And I just want to know your thoughts about that. How do you think people should converse to ensure that relationships still have that unique, strong bond?
So I think I've mentioned before on the show that most times now when I check in on my friends, if I say how are you and you just say fine, I'll tell you that's not what I want to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. Or no, not necessarily, how did your day go? If you say fine again, I'll say no. Well, there's no day that is ever the same. It's never the same thing. So by the time you start telling me, oh, I started with this, and then you see that from there you start talking about things that you might not even remember that happened in a day, and that can bring some form of conversation and intentionality to it. So maybe sometimes even the person who, if I'm asking you how are you, maybe fine would not just do it. It's a two-party
So I should have
thing.
done well to, give him a detailed...
So that he can also have some form of response, so that when you just say fine, he's not like, okay, how are you? And then I'm forced to keep asking, how was your day? Have you eaten? Have you slept? Did you wake up? And all of that.
Have you poo-poo? Have you wee-wee?
So I think it's a two-party thing.
What's your thoughts on this, Gertrude?
For me, I think I like to tell people my story first, because I feel like by then it makes them make them at ease and want to, tell me their own story. So just yesterday, really. So there's this friend of mine that actually called me, and she wanted something from me, right? And when I helped her with it, and she's like, oh, how you doing? How was work? She doesn't want it to look like, oh, I just called you for this thing and let's keep it moving.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, how is it? How you doing? And all of that. And I told her part of our work relation and, work relationship, and the fact that I had like a new course coming up, and there's just a lot of things for me to balance up and all. And the next thing, she was also telling me about her own difficulties here in Lekki and how difficult it is getting a job, getting, even like a house and all of that. So you see, I feel like when you tell people your story, you just make them ease down for them to also tell you theirs.
Great. This is very good tips and tricks, and I'm taking it to my world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited to have another episode with you again, our dearest viewers. But before we go into the headline stories and every hot topic that we have today, we'll take this short break to reflect on significant event that has shaped our world. And after that, come back straight here for our headline banter. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show, and thank you for sticking with us. Remember, if you're just joining us, this is Way's Breakfast Show. And our phone lines will be open right now for you to interact with us further. You can reach us via 0702500779 or 0701424220. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on now to the official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your GoTV, and don't miss this for anything. We're not just on YouTube, we're across different social media platforms, from Instagram to X to Facebook. So yes, be there with us. All right, let's go straight to the papers this morning, starting with the international papers.
All right, straight into the Guardian newspaper. Top left, we have there, some people don't like me and I don't like them, and that's from Charlotte Perlman. The top right, we have a trillion-star wars for grown-ups. Main headline, Crimea is lost, says Trump as he warns Zelensky on peace deal. Beneath the main headline, by the left, we have the PM pressed to let young Europeans work in UK. Then by the right, we have noisy phone users could face ban on transport, and I think I like that so much. I think that's something that even Oluchi would actually agree to. What do you think?
Oh, I didn't get the story. What's
so let me say it again. So noisy phone users could face ban on transport.
Please, it should be implemented
in Nigeria. I was waiting for that. Well, honestly speaking, I mean, it's important that people actually learn,
public
etiquette, yeah. Because again, it's just like you've always complained how you've been the boss and you're trying to figure out your morning. I mean, it's morning for Carla. It's just 6. It's just 5. Tell me how somebody's playing Zazu. Make it make sense to me, But yeah, I mean, I feel like banning them, from using transport or something. I feel like that's a bit, strict. Probably just warn them and let's keep it at that. I mean, I feel like that's
how
what
we
will happen.
encourage bad character. Sometimes if we see it recurring, you take, what's that thing? Desperate times called for desperate measures.
Yeah.
So if people don't want to learn by the right way, we give them something more intense.
But is there going to be an issue if the person was playing worship songs?
Yes,
it will still be an issue.
Because I know that a lot of people always...
And we have all of those.
So people feel some type of bias when it comes to the kind of songs that they would have loved to listen to with you.
Yeah.
But just because you are not playing the song, then they hate it.
That's a Nigerian problem, actually.
But the point is not about bias. It's about public etiquette and the fact that we are not interested in whatever you're playing. Sometimes, I'm a Christian. I love Christian music. But in commuting, I need that solitude. I don't need anybody saying anything to me. So whether you're playing surround me like a shield or Zazu, I don't want it at that point.
But what do you think about, I mean, there are some buses that when you enter, the driver himself is the one playing the stuff. I mean, there are so many times where, I mean, you guys already know that I don't like sitting at the back seat, I like sitting in the front, I mean, close to the driver and all. And most times, you see them either playing a certain radio or whatever that I don't even want to listen to. Do you understand? So what would happen in that regard? So what do you want to tell the driver?
If you don't want to come down.
Exactly. So there's little or nothing we can do.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'll only just go with my earpods and just block my ears till I get to my bus stop and all. And there's this other headline that is here that I would like to touch a bit, even though I don't have so much details about it. And it says Crimea is lost, says Trump as he warns Zelensky on peace deal. So apparently there's supposed to be a conversation between Zelensky and Putin, that's the Russian president. And somehow Trump is in all of this. And Trump is saying that, so there's a certain territory that the Russian has always had, right, according to Trump. And Trump says that that particular territory has has been guided with the Russian for 11 years now. So tell me why now that they're trying to have a peace talk, Zelensky is saying that territory should be given back to them. So you see that there's a bit of commotion there, really. Well, I don't know what the updates would be like. This one that Trump is on this matter, let's even start with that, because I know there was a time where he decides that he wants to watch his hands off, given that Zelensky is not agreeing to his terms that he stated about the whole mineral, whatever. So now that he's on it and he's like, Zelensky, I think you need to just chill. This particular land you're talking about has always been with the Russians for 11 years. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's time for us to have that peace conversation and let the peace reign? So Zelensky should just breathe in and breathe out that with this particular land,
my
gone.
major concern actually is where Trump stands, because 1 minute he's advising Putin, the next minute he's advising Zelensky.
Yeah.
The 4th minute he's trying to put two of them's head together and they let them just scatter everything so that he can get what he wants to get.
Right.
Sometimes he's also looking like he's concerned about something. I don't know if it's someone, a place,
I don't
mineral resources, all of that.
I don't consider Trump to be someone to be concerned about other people. It's always about him and the United States.
I don't know.
That's a very heavy.
I can't say much.
Statistics, where what the things we've been reading, all the things the newspaper has been telling us, that's what it's looking like. So I would not say that he's concerned 100%. But if it's about United States and the good of the United States, okay, yes, I give him that. But if not,
okay, let's move to our local papers.
So starting with the National Guardian, the headline reads, hurdles for opposition parties as APC win more governors and others. Above the mass, we have Lagos has shortfall of 66,000 doctors and nurses, says government. On the right-hand side, we have reps say 1,723 vessels engage in sharp practices on Nigerian waters. In the middle of that story, we have scandals. President won't allow Akpabio to step aside, says Senator. We still have more stories here saying that ECOWAS to relocate institutions from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. WHO to downsize operations amid major funding cuts. We've been unfairly blamed for insecurity in Imo. IPOB laments. 10 billion naira Aso Rock solar project on an admission of power sector failure, says Huriwa. And on insecurity, we have Tinubu security chiefs in talks. 36 governors discuss crisis in Abuja. The story that really catches my attention here is with the whole hurdles for opposition parties as APC wins more governors. So just yesterday, a lot of PDP and some LP governors moved to APC.
Nice.
And I remember very well when our creative director was talking about how we should expect, or we should start naming other governors that are going to move from their parties to the APC. And at some point, 2027 might now look like a one-party system. That means whether you are voting for APC or you're not voting for APC, anybody can get into power today. And because of the cross-carpeting and whatever, how easy it gets, you just wake up one morning and a group of people from a particular party, whether the APC, the PDP, or any party, can come and tell you that your second term, which I've heard a lot, your second term, your third term, whatever term, can be assured if you decamp to this party. And then that's what we have. But now we have a lot of governors, a lot of councillors, chairman moving to the same APC that almost everybody is complaining. So maybe there's something that's going on in the upper chamber that we are not aware of, that we the civilians are not aware of, and then it's something that I would like to get clarity on. But 2025, in fact, because most people don't know that there's an election happening this year. 2025, 2027 is looking more like we're going to still have a one-party system come into play, because other parties who have tried to do coalitions, who are trying to merge and do all these things together, somewhat still have some unspoken or, in some cases, outright failures that they have not been able to come together. This person's terms and this person's terms is not aligning. But APC is just there saying, come, oh ye. How does the Bible verse says
that are burdened.
Yes.
Give you rest.
Exactly. That's what the party is doing. And I think that that's what the APC have been doing for the longest.
Right.
And there's this reward party system too that they also have that sort of makes everyone want to lean into the party.
Emphasis on reward, actually. Because
so I don't know.
If you look at most of those people that, going into, leaving their party to again, first is the ruling party. I know that it's the mindset of that he's going to get another tenor. If you get it, you understand? So
The
everybody,
favor just
it
comes
can't
to
exactly.
everyone.
The truth is that it can't happen without these people. So they are. It's not just about him winning. It's about what they also want to get for themselves. It's not a people thing. It's not a civilian. It's a personal interest thing. That's what it's a business venture.
The way I'll just close up this particular conversation is I think that for political parties now, maybe there's a lot of liberality and freedom to just pivot and cross carpet, like you've mentioned. Maybe we should start having some rules and things that make things a bit rigid. Because
Nigerian government.
You understand?
That's why I'm saying maybe.
The things that you say, Oluchi, you make it look like you're not in
maybe.
this country with us.
See, the fact that I'm in this country and some things look a bit far-fetched does not mean that it should not be spoken about. You just put it out in the public, hoping that the right thing will carry it. We still need to start having some tough regulations because political parties is eventually what forms the governance that we have today. Right. Whatever you see happening across different positions, first start from the political parties, the primary elections, everything that goes there, the godfatherism that we are always claiming. So if we start having some checks and balances in that place, seeing that maybe there's a neutral body controlling things, maybe the people who are now pushing from that area can, you know, bring the right cause or the
I hear you. It's not like I don't. I hear you. But you see, most of those people that leave their party to this to APC, right? The truth is, if they don't have anything, if they don't have value that they're going to be adding to the party, they will not be put in the first place. They will not be allowed in. So you should get that part that they're adding value, and of course, they're going to collect some things in return. So that's how it works. Stop carrying hope up and down in some of these things.
All right, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much, God's Beauty. Let's not start the argument. The Ashwebi argument is going to be enough for today. Let me take you through the Punch. The Punch has some interesting papers. Still on the 2027 power shift, it says here, opposition weakens as more PDP governors and senators eye APC. Delta Governor Okowa, Oshun, Jigawa, PDP chieftains and others defect to APC. PDP body judge attack Tinubu. And then below that, we see killings. Tinubu demands fresh security blueprints from intelligence chiefs. Lagos LG chair aspirant withdraws for Obase's son. U.S. indicts Nigeria for $690,000 scam, false citizenship claim. Federal government grants tax waivers to Dangote, Mikano, and 103 others. The last story here, which I'm going to touch on, because it still relates to the whole 2027 election thing, it says here that INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC. The major story, the full story rather, reads that the INEC has expressed willingness to allow eligible Nigerians without permanent voters card to vote in the 2027 general elections, but insists that such a move must be backed by legislative amendment. And I think this was, deliberated on Wednesday, that the Commission was committed to expanding voter access through technology, but emphasized that legal provision must first be updated to accommodate any shifts from the current PVC-only system. I like how a lot of people are just getting so geared up towards these 2027 elections. And concerning this particular initiative, I would say I personally support it. And why is Kiki looking at me that way? Reason being that in the last election that we had some people who were eligible, but then there was a lot of delays with collecting voters' cards, and these people were eligible enough to vote. They wanted to exercise their franchise, but because I do not have that PVC, right, it stopped people from voting. So if this initiative is going to be, looked into and signed into bill or whatever they call it now, it gives the opportunity for many more people to be involved in electoral processes. So we're not saying, we've always had problems with our numbers and statistics. Yeah. A number of people are registering. A number of people even have voters card. But people that come out eventually to vote, it's not up to the number that registered. So I think this will also give a bit of hope, and maybe some enthusiasm will be bred in the average Nigerian to want to engage in voting, whether or not they have voters card. Of course, I'm not sure that they will just go there without voters card. Maybe there will be some other form of digital print or something that can give you access to vote with or without voters card. Do you think it's a good initiative?
I like to talk about the pros and the cons.
That's right.
You have spoken about the pros of that is that most people struggle to get voters' cards, and for that reason, a lot of Nigerians don't come out to vote. That's the excuse that a lot of Nigerians use to say that they can't vote or they can't exercise their rights.
I didn't get my voters' card.
Yes, but that is another avenue for a large size, a very big size rigging. Because what it does, what will happen is that we have a larger number of, if they are going to be using the NIN, or the national ID card or of that sense.
Any other means of identification.
Any other means of identification. We have a larger number. It's just like doing a census. We have over 200 million Nigerians. Maybe the most who are youths have maybe 70% of that vote or something. Even if 50% come out, you see that remaining 20%, there's already database for it. So it's the more that it's going to encourage more people to come out to vote, the way it's going to also encourage the people who know that they want to rig that election.
Yeah.
So there has to be, what I would now look at is that while they want to do this, they should put offenses for people who rig elections, for people who would try to tamper with, election materials or any of that stuff.
True.
Then I can agree that this initiative
is a good
makes
one.
sense.
You know why I think it's still a good one? Because I think that it will also reduce the financial pressure that INEC has to face. Because there have been some comments that, the money is not enough for them.
Right.
And this whole PVC stuff, the process, the registration, the card, takes a large chunk of the finances. So if at the end of the day, people just need to use their NIN or any other means of identification, you're already cutting off from that budget. So that means you can pay attention on the technologies that usually don't work on that
You're
day.
telling them that they can pay attention because that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling them. We are telling them, don't put me on this pressure. No. All right, that's all we can take for the papers this morning. Very beautiful banter and amazing stories across Nigerian papers and the international paper. Today's story, or today's hot topic, is quite interesting. We're talking about something very social-cultural, Asoebi, the tradition and the financial reality of it. I mean, these days we've been seeing some extravagant weddings, beautiful weddings, and a lot of conversations can, sprout from this reality. So we want to talk about the Asoebi part of it and argue if this is a tradition that should be maintained or we start seeing the financial reality of this. Of course, this is one conversation that I want to hear your thoughts on. So please ensure to go to our YouTube channel, call us, and let us know your 2 cents on this topic. We'll be right back after the short break.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Welcome back, people, and thank you for sticking with us. So our topic for today is Asoebi. What a topic, right? We want to look at the tradition versus the financial reality of this. In Nigeria, few social traditions are as vibrant and widely embraced as Asoebi. From Lagos to Ibadan, Port Harcourt to Abuja, this coordinated fabric chosen by celebrants and bought by friends and family is more than just fashion. It's a symbol of love, loyalty, unity, and cultural pride. Worn at weddings, birthdays, funerals, and even naming ceremonies, Asoebi showcases our communal spirit and the joy of shared celebration. But beneath the beauty lies a growing conversation about cost and priority. In recent times, especially with Nigeria's economic hardship, inflation, and unemployment, critics, including social commentators like Reno Omokri, have raised concerns about the financial pressure the Asoebi culture places on individuals. A single invitation could come with a financial burden, paying for the fabric, tailoring, matching accessories, and transportation, sometimes running into tens of thousands of naira per event. And this has led to a key question. Are we sustaining a culture that no longer fits our financial reality, or is this issue more about moderation and personal choice? And today, we're going to unpack this tension between tradition and economic sense, between communal pride and personal budget. And, you know, personal bias. Because on this table, Okike already said, that's not my business. For my wedding, you guys are buying Asoebi of 1 million naira.
No, I'm
Please,
so sorry.
don't put us in that group chat.
See,
Yeah.
I said it before. I will say it again. You will buy Asoebi, whether you like it or not. We must come. You know when you want to enter the hall,
Yeah.
and then there's this colorful line of ladies coming with you with their makeup, their shoes. Wait now, is it your wedding?
We'll get into the comments. But tell us what you are planning. Let me know how to start avoiding you and giving you excuses.
You cannot avoid me. That is why I'm on you guys' neck now. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll be reminding you 2 years before the time that
don't cut our
I've
neck
opened
with it.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Yes.
At
On
least
top,
you've not added us to group chat yet. I
People
saw one
already
meme
do.
somewhere. Someone said, who added me to this group chat? Come at me now.
no, but to be honest, I love the idea of Asoebi.
Great that you love it. Now tell me, what do you think this Asoebi represents culturally? Let's even start with the whole culture part of it. Take us through history, tradition, and maybe expatiate on the particular tribe, you know, that seems to hit on
Yoruba
this.
people.
So
as well.
as Yoruba, I will not talk for any other tribe, but as Yoruba, Asoebi is one of, like, if we're thinking about anything, any wedding, any funeral, any birthdays, the first thing that is on our mind is that what clothes are we going to use for Asoebi? It's never even the budget for the hall or the food that's going to be served. The first is, what Asoebi are we using? Is it Ankara? Is it lace? Is it
brocade?
Depending on the class of the party, we're already thinking about, okay, how are we going to sell, what supplier, and all of that. So, but it's easy for Yoruba people to quickly buy such, because I cannot say that it's more like an inherent thing. It's just like it's somewhere there that for me to belong, for me to be part of these people, for me to let these people know that we are together, for me to somewhat express my joy for what you are doing, whether it's wedding or birthday. Let me just buy this thing that you are saying that, okay, come and join. So giving the invite and the Ankara is like, come and join me to celebrate. That is what it sounds. That is what it's about when it comes to Yoruba. Come and join me, celebrate with this thing that I'm doing. So it's easy for a Yoruba person to just buy the Asoebi just cause I'm coming to celebrate with you. There's also this thing where, if it's an intertribal thing, Asoebi is very important. Do you understand?
For distinction.
Yeah.
I don't agree for distinction, but sometimes that Asoebi can bring the other family together with your family. So in the case where naturally you tell everybody to wear what they like, and the husband has a higher class than the wife, no lies, there's going to be difference in dressing.
Yeah.
Sure.
So when people enter, they can tell already that this is the wife family, this is the husband family. From the high table, they already know who is sitting here.
Exactly.
So Asoebi sort of balances everybody out. Where if it's Ankara that I'm picking and everybody's wearing
There are lots of
you can't
things
tell the difference.
That opposes what you've just said. When you talk
See,
of balance.
I'm talking about the Yoruba
that
culture.
Same Yoruba culture, I know. I've watched some Yoruba movies that seem to depict what happens in reality. So it seems as though, yes, it's supposed to balance culture, but there's still that subtle segregation that comes with Asoebi, where, yes, we are one big happy family, but this high-class individual, the prim and proper people, are going to be purchasing the lace, the expensive brocade and fabrics, while the other ones, let's just give them one.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So eventually, is it still about unity and solidarity, or there's still some inherent segregation that comes?
In 100%. I'm talking about the most Yorubas. That's what happened. As a Yoruba, I've been to a lot of parties. So I can tell you that for a fact, all my Ankaras came from parties. All my lace came from one party or the other. And it came from a balanced perspective that everybody, this is the lace I'm selling for this party. Come and join me,
and
celebrate
the mother's
with
friends
me.
People didn't have special lace that seemed to make them stand out in the crowd.
We're now extending beyond what Asoebi can be.
Okay.
For my mother, let's assume that for my mother's friends, she might be part of a group. She might be part of, my mom is an Iyalode, right? So naturally, when those group are coming for any party that they are going for, they always have maybe a special white lace or something where they are sitting in one corner. They already know that these are the group of Iyalodes from a particular kingdom, right? Any king, any royal person would not wear the same clothes as every other person because there are rules to it for that case. So if my mom's friends are wearing a particular cloth, it does not mean that she's not trying to align them, but because of this, the reason for that picking another cloth is very, I don't know how to put it. The reason is very sure that this is why this person have to wear this. Then that's when that happens. But I'm talking about Asoebi generally. Okay. Asoebi generally is more of a unity thing than to show any form of class. I'll use Iyabo Ojo's wedding as an example. Sorry, Priscilla's wedding, because it's the most current one. Almost everybody, be it your class, your this, your that, everybody wore the same lace. Everybody had the same green lace. Everybody you just knew that you either had to use 30,000 stones for your own on the upper side or something. The expense for the sewing is up to you. But she sold every person that was coming. It was the same lace. Then maybe the husband side now chose that, okay, they wanted to do something else. But it's all about balance. For me, from coming from the family that I'm coming from. I don't know about any other Yoruba family.
Like you're saying this because you don't want to betray your mother at home. You want to be like, are you the one talking
no,
about
at all. If it was otherwise, I would have said that
but
it happens
beautiful
like that.
point. Let's hear from God's Beauty.
I kind of agree to it. I mean, some of the things that Okiki has said, right? So, honestly speaking, I love the idea of Asoebi. So, Igbo people actually do the Asoebi thing.
Asoebi.
Away. But you know that it actually originated from the Yoruba people. Culture. Yeah. Probably because people like party. You always everywhere.
There's party today.
There's party today. Well, continuation to it, right? I feel like I love the idea, like I said. I like the idea of the whole Asoebi thing. But the mentality of, the nowadays mentality of we have to make money from it. And I think that's the reason why Retno has to say the things that he has to say. Because now, it's not about unity again. Do you understand? It's not about, there's not that force of you must come for my party. That's one. You must buy my Asoebi, that's two. Even when you put it in a very interesting price, let me use that word. Even when you put it in a very interesting price, you still want the person to pay. You're not looking at the economic situation. You're not looking at the person's pocket. Do you understand? So even when it is culturally backed, do you understand? Like you said, even when it is culturally backed, people have moved past that whole cultural thing. It's no longer about, come and celebrate with me. It's about you have to be there. That's one. The fact that you have to be there. Even when, there are times where I even see people share Asoebi to people that they don't even know. Me, they do wedding, come celebrate with me. It's not. You can imagine, but it's not even about coming to celebrate with me. It's about their own income, the money they will make from from selling whatever. Interesting parties. These people go to the market, they get very fake things, and they sell for very very interesting prices. Do you understand? So it's not even about the come and celebrate with me, which was actually why it was made in the first place. Do you understand? It's not even about the balance that you talked about, even though. To some extent, I beg to differ, right? Just like Oluchi has said, there are some places, there are some weddings that you see, if it's intertribal, whatever, you see the man's family wearing a different thing, the women family wearing a different thing. Again, I think they also want to bring up their own culture and all of that, but like that's you know, on another side. But honestly speaking, I feel like that's where we should, you know, have the conversation about. So in as much as it is culturally back, with the way it's going today, I think just last week or so, I was reading through where somebody was saying that, you know, one of her bosses or so came to give her, you know, Ashwebi, and they're already telling her the price. They're not even selling it in naira, they're selling it in dollars. And if you check the amount, it's close to 2 million. You don't think about that, you're not serious. But imagine that. So it's not even about, I mean, the fact that you don't have the mentality of, oh, come and, you know, celebrate with me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you have the mentality of raising funds for yourself. Interesting part is these people now also do very elaborated wedding, this expensive wedding. They spend too much and they want to use that Ashwebi money to cover up. Come on now.
You guys have said a lot of things that almost sums up the whole conversation, and the reason why this conversation came up, white man in that sense, and you know, his family had to represent the Yoruba culture by putting on the gele, the ashoke, and it felt beautiful in that sense. So yes, people will argue that, oh, don't be too critical about culture. It helps to even blend different kinds of society or states together. But at the end of the day, there are some things that need to start being checked. I don't think we should be so rigid to think that culture can be changed. I've had a conversation with someone that said that culture and traditions were made by men, and these same cultures and traditions can be amended by men. That's why we have certain bills today that can be, you know, looked at again before it is signed. So I guess that this whole rigidness of, oh, that's how we do it in the